Welcome into the Moose Athletic Complex in Glen Burnie, Maryland. That's Christian Taylor. I'm Danny Tao. Happy to be with you tonight. Our sincerest apologies for the delay in getting this stream going, but we're here now. We're going to give you a quick summary of what you've missed as we get set for the second half. Christos leading 2-0 here at the Moose, thanks to an early goal from Bailey DeSmit and a late goal by Taylor Evans. Zoe Vidare picking up a yellow card in the late stages of the first half as well. And Christian, it was a very clinical first frame from both teams.
You know, it was really nice. I mean, 2-0 favoring the Christos scoreline certainly, but doesn't mean McLean was out of this game whatsoever. I really thought their possession was really good. It's just they weren't getting these touches towards the final third. They did get a good chance towards the end with Julia Lease and her header, but she was offsides. Otherwise, that was maybe the best look so far. I'd like to see from them in the second half a little bit more out of Erica Harwood on that left-hand side. I would like to see Julia Lease push up maybe even more just to pressure that back line. But we'll see what happens here in the second half. I thought Christos have been very good defending, but they're very clinical when it comes to scoring, and we've seen that this year. And once again, DeSmit and now Evans being a part of it.
Absolutely. And Christos, at least from our vantage point right at midfield, seemed to be playing very well as an 11-strong unit, each player in great communication with each other throughout the entire opening first half.
You know, it's been really nice, and I think it all starts with the outside backs, too, with what Hanks has been able to do on the right side, what Christos has been able to do on the left side. I think it's been their speed and their determination to never lose a challenge that has helped them to this point. And I think you're so right, because we could really go through this and pinpoint a bunch of different players, but we could really pinpoint all 11 for how well they've played so far. And so I'm hoping here, at least for a Christos standpoint, that they see a lot of it here again in the second half.
And as we said, it's 2-0 Christos coming out of the first half, but it very easily could be any number of different scoring lines, including with McLean leading. So as we move into the final 45, what are you expecting to see? Maybe not what you want to see, but what you expect to see.
I do expect McLean to at least potentially get one. I think they're too good of a passing team and a scoring team to be kept with zero tonight. That being said, I have, again, been really impressed with how good this backline has looked for Christos, and they haven't been challenged too much yet. So I know what the coaching staff is telling them right now is just to urge that forward a little bit. They're certainly going to look to get Eliza Turner in some better positions. She's been all over the pitch today, but one of her best qualities is being able to distribute the ball well. So I expect her to do some good things. And, you know, we'll see. They got some speedy players. I think this is going to be an exciting second half.
You want to take a guess what the final score is going to be?
I think both teams score one. 3-1 Christos.
3-1 Christos. I will go 3-0 Christos from myself. But the second half just moments away, and we will have it for you right here on DMV Sports Media. Keep it with us. Get the time ready. We good? Head referee Walt Torshawn blows his whistle, and we are back underway here at the Moose for the second half of action between McLean Soccer and Christos FC. Danny Tao, Christian Taylor, once again, happy to be with you on this beautiful evening, I might add. Absolutely perfect Maryland weather.
Yeah, I mean, for how, I guess, relatively chillier it was for the first few games of the year, it's nice to have back-to-back nights where it's just a beautiful evening to watch some soccer.
Well, coming into the break, McLean made 4 changes to their lineup. Christos, no subs at all for the home team in the gray shirts and white shorts, attacking right to left on your screen. McLean wearing all black with a little bit of white striping on the shorts going left to right. Is that free kick played long towards the back post for Christos? That's Caroline Kutsos trying to track it down in the corner, and she will. Still Christos battling through some traffic. This is Kutsos again. Kutsos trying to find space to cross. Gets one in low. It's deflected out for a corner. That was Amy Davis getting the block.
Yeah, and you see just how she was able to stay on her feet. You know, even with Valente staying on her there, it was so hard. Valente had her wrapped up, and Kutsos with so much strength just finding a way to stay on her feet. And it's some of the things that she's been doing here in these last few games. I think she's been an absolute perfect reawakening for this Christos team.
Well, this will be an in-swinging corner from the near side for Christos. Played right to the middle of the box. That's dangerous. And it's a third for Christos. It's a goal for Zoe Vidare, the center back. She was already in the book with a yellow card. She adds her first goal of the year for Christos. She scored 1 last year in 8 appearances. And it's 3-0 Christos just minutes into the second half.
Yeah, just gorgeous, too. And, of course, DeSmit always involved, whether it be scoring, whether it be assisting. Just absolutely excellent over there. And Vidare, that's just it. I mean, it's not like McLean defended that corner extremely poorly. It was so perfectly placed, and Vidare was right there. No way she was going to miss from that realm. No way.
Well, McLean trying to build something. Vidare snuffed it out very quickly. Now this is Kelsey Smith tracking down the ball, and she will get there first, just ahead of Eliza Turner. Sarah Martin considering her options, trying to play one through for DeSmit. DeSmit still running on. DeSmit's going to get there first and have a go, and it's a delightful double for DeSmit. 4-0 on the night in favor of Christos.
I mean, it didn't take them long again. I mean, firstly, just an unbelievable ball through for DeSmit, and once again, once she's there eye to eye with the keeper, there's only one result, and they've come out with just absolute firepower here and have caught McLean napping.
Whatever it was that Christos coaching staff said during the halftime break, it is working. 4-0. Now the score on the night, and rather surprising that there's this much of a difference when there's this much quality on both sides of the pitch, Christian.
Yeah, it's just that both teams are just so good when it comes to things, and it's certainly different than last year, right? Remember, McLean came here and had no problem, but you know, they picked up the loss in their last game to Eagle, and you know, potentially thinking about it. You know, this team isn't used to falling a little bit short, so now all of a sudden it's Christos who are using perhaps what Eagle did against McLean to their own advantage, and I think another thing that's part of this too is I think this is the full Christos roster at their best here. I mean, we're talking about the biggest names that they've had at least this season, and certainly some big names from last year playing here tonight. I think this, if you were to put together perhaps a best starting 11 for Christos, this might be close to it.
Well, the entire Christos bench is up and getting loose now with a 4-goal lead in what is really a crucial game for playoff positioning in the Mid-Atlantic Division. Christos and McLean both entering this one on 9 points. Christos with 1 in. Christos 5 played, McLean 4 played coming in, so 1 in hand for McLean. But really, this precedes what will be a vital stretch of 4 games in 9 days for Christos, where they play 2 on the road at McLean and at Eagle, and then come home for another another pair against McLean and Eagle. Really, the top three teams, Christos, McLean, and Eagle, just so much quality on those sides, especially as compared to the rest of the division.
I mean, this is going to determine where they're finishing, and we saw how difficult it was last year just to even get out of this division, right? But last year it was really just the tussle between Christos and McLean, and now you add an Eagle to the fold who look almost unbeatable to this point. It just makes things so much more fun. Wouldn't have it any other way.
And a little more on Bailey DeSmit, now with 2 goals on the night. That brings her up to 14 through 6 games on the season. That leads the nation in goals, 14 goals, and earned her a spot on the USL-W League May Team of the Month, as well as she's scored in every single game, going down right in the box. McLean can't believe it, but Walt Torshon signals for a corner.
Sarah, keep digging deep.
Certainly made the official think about it, that's for sure. I know those are ones that are just, you have to time perfectly. So for the official's mind, clearly it thinks that it was right on the money.
Well, it'll be Ava Nucci taking this corner for McLean, the rising senior at Bethesda Chevy Chase High School. Scored 2 goals so far in the USL-W League season. That corner played towards the back post, headed back in. Duffy right there to claim that header from the head of Tuska Mahmoodpour. Christos, not a ton to sweat about in the back so far this evening.
And a few of the chances have been just really easy for Duffy. And again, this team has quality, and they can string these passes together.
Dangerous for McLean, but Vidare almost got nutmegged, able to keep the ball in front of her, and Christos can build the other way. Sarah Martin looking long for Bailey DeSmit. DeSmit holding up top, looking for help. Gets by one, playing one through, looking for Liz Beckers. Beckers battling Amy Davis with the ball. Beckers goes down, can't win the ball off of Amy Davis. Support from Kelsey Smith, can't get it either. Evelyn Casadabin gets there first, and McLean avoids going down by 5.
Yeah, she was awfully close to picking that up, too. I mean, shoulder to shoulder, Beckers was definitely a few steps behind Davis there, but almost won it and nearly got a chance for her team.
Liz Beckers, the 2-time All-Horizon League first-team member, playing at IUPUI as McLean into the middle. That ball just behind Natalie Wilson. Duffy diving save at the near post to keep the clean sheet intact. Corner coming for McLean. A little more on Beckers, transferred to Marquette after several productive seasons at IUPUI. Started 11 games, made 18 total appearances for the Golden Eagles, scored 2 goals as well, which equals her current tally in this USL-W League season, both of which came against Patuxent.
That's a Marquette team that's climbing, too. It's a difficult Big East.
In swinging corner from McLean, floating lazily, bouncing in the box. Falls to the feet of Christos and able to get cleared away.
Well, to McLean's credit here, they haven't gone down here. They've continued to try pushing forward, and ever since the 4th one went in, it seems like they've been holding on to the ball a little bit better.
Absolutely, and it really is surprising when, you know, we've mentioned it a couple times already, how much talent McLean has. I mean, they're ranked 14th in the latest edition of the USL-W Power Rankings. Only lost by 1 goal to Eagle. Other than that game, they've outscored their opposition 19-0. As DeSmit on rushing towards goal, she's looking for a hat trick. Bailey Smith is denied by Kara Martin, diving to her right. The Georgetown sophomore able to get in front of that ball. Kara Martin, a spectacular season last year at Georgetown, I might add.
Yeah, she really did have one there, didn't she? And she was fighting for a #1 spot. She came in, probably wasn't expecting any minutes, but because of the injuries to a couple goalkeepers above her, she took advantage under Dave Nolan and really begun to thrive, it seemed. And so towards the end of the year then, she was splitting time with Allie Auger, and she got the nod in a lot of games and is going to be the future for that Georgetown goalkeeping situation.
Yeah, Martin started all 10 games. She played just a .6 goals against average, saved 80% of the shots she saw for the Hoyas.
That Hoya team did not allow a single goal in Big East play until the last game against Butler. I mean, they went double-digit games straight without allowing a single goal.
Got to the 2nd round of the NCAA tournament as well. McLean trying to build out of the back here. Just about 10 minutes gone in the second half. Christos scored 2 after the halftime break to now lead 4-0 at the Moose in Glen Burnie. As a wayward pass looking for Amy Davis. She can't keep it in. It'll be a throw for Christos in the attacking half.
Rare mistake from Eliza Turner there. Just a little bit of pressure there. Sarah Martin towards the center, right in her face. So it's one of those errors that just stops things in their tracks. But yeah,
Kutsos 1-2 in the near side. Floated one long into the corner. Bailey DeSmit trying to track it down. Smith battling down there with Brooke Burrell. And DeSmit just able to get in front and win a throw for Christos.
Yeah, you mentioned those 2 goals, though. I mean, McLean were hoping just to limit the damage, and that was probably the worst start they could have had to this second half, because now all of a sudden you're chasing it already down 2. Now you got to chase down 4.
Throw goes short. A little bit of miscommunication there between Kutsos and friends. I believe that's Liz Beckers. And ball's going the other way for McLean. Trying to float one over the top, looking for Tuska Mahmoodpour. Battling with Taylor Tolson. Tolson using the length to get the ball to Bailey DeSmit. Now what can DeSmit do? A curler is just over the bar.
I mean, it just seems whenever DeSmit gets it, she finds space. I mean, no matter what the situation is, she's able to use both feet to get some sort of a look. I almost just don't think it's fair against whoever she's playing. Because every game she's firing off at least 5+ shots. I mean, and she's scored in every game this year.
Taylor Evans using her options well, finding out on the right side, Abby Hanks, who had an absolutely spectacular first half.
Now, she was here on our near side in the first half. It was just excellent watching her continue to sprint and win every single one of her duels.
And Christian, you noted to me how you've been impressed in the past with Erica Harwood's play, and she was a non-factor in the first frame, thanks to Abby Hanks.
Yeah, Hanks had her locked down, didn't she? And Harwood is somebody who uses her footwork well, does have a little bit of pace, but just wasn't quite there in the first 45 minutes, and thus we don't see her anymore.
Two subs here for Christos. Danielle Campbell and Allie Clearfield coming on. Kelsey Smith and Sarah Martin making way. Clearfield, it seems, sliding into the outside back spot that Abby Hanks was occupying, and Hanks moving up to that right wing spot that Kelsey Smith was in.
So watch out for, firstly, Clearfield. They're going to slot her in on the right back position. She, for UMBC this season, played center back.
Possibly dangerous for McLean right there. Duffy off her line well to clear that one. Danielle Campbell gets an early touch.
But, you know, and she was actually one of the better center backs in the America East. But she can play an outside back, too, because she has speed.
DeSmit playing that one behind Hanks.
And you see what that also does, too, is it pushes Hanks up into the attack a little bit, where she thrives.
Over on the far side, that's Campbell. Low ball played in. Christos been screaming for handball. They're not going to get the call from head ref Walt Torshan.
Then, of course, the change with Campbell in the middle, too. Very versatile and, you know, played so well there at Towson this season.
This is Liz Beckers, considering her options, playing one through for Hanks. Just a little too far ahead. McLean, all the space in the world down the far sideline, floating into the middle. Natalie Wilson running on. Battling with Taylor Tolson. Taylor Tolson once again there. Far shot, not even close.
Yeah, I mean, after an hour here, this has just gone, I think, as perfectly for Christos as they could have ever wanted it. I mean, obviously tested in the first half, but they got their goals to silence a few things, and when he figured that, you know, the first 5-10 minutes of the second half is just so important for either team, and the fact that Christos won it and then won it with flying colors, I think it's, again, a testament to his coaching staff, but a testament to these players. They're ready this year. They didn't like how last year ended, so they wanna make some noise.
Ella Valenti looking one through. That's Hannah Harms playing in the middle. Just nobody there on the receiving end. Cleared away, still dangerous. Another ball into the middle. That one lands. Deflected away, players going down. Allie Clearfield was there. It's Valenti to the far side. Swarm of defenders there against Ava Nucci. Courtney Corcoran playing an important part, and she's winning a free kick for Christos.
So good. I mean, Corcoran has had a pretty good game too, hasn't she? I mean, she assisted that second goal of the game, and just so hard to be beaten there. Really is.
Corcoran playing nearly 1,500 minutes this past season for the Marshall Thundering Herd out in West Virginia.
And, you know, Coach Kennedy knows her well. Played over at Spalding. And
absolutely.
I mean, we've known Marshall. I mean, that's a program that is just not bad at all. And, you know, both men's and women's teams. So they do a good job of recruiting some strong talent. And Corcoran, one of the cream of the crop.
Christos getting to the ball ahead of Valenti. A violent collision between Beckers and Davis. Ball played up top for DeSmit. DeSmit cuts on her right, bouncing, cannot get by the last defender. Bailey DeSmit still hunting for the hat trick and goal number 15. Kutos intercepts. And taken away from Kutos by Natalie Wilson. That's Hannah Harms. A lot of space on the far side. One-time shot, and that's a fantastic goal. Ava Nucci with a gorgeous shot to beat Caroline Duffy, and it's 4-1 at the Moose.
I mean, the thing is, she was so far out, nobody closed her down, and we're talking about an unbelievable bend of the ball there. I mean, Duffy had no chance to try and stop that. She was still at least a foot away from that ball. Everything about it there for Nucci was just perfect, and, you know, she's doing that after picking up a couple of fouls here. I mean, since she's come on, it hasn't been perfect for her, but goes right back to it, so maybe just a little bit of a window open for McLean here.
And not only is that Nucci's third goal of the year, she's the second youngest player on the pitch right now, only beaten by her teammate who came on at halftime, Hannah Harms. Both still in high school, but playing at a very high level with this competition.
Yeah. McLean are just so known for developing players so well. Most of their athletes go D1. And you can see it there. Clearly, she's going to be a D1 player. I mean, there's no doubt about it. But to be doing this at this age is just remarkable.
And especially with McLean, a lot of these girls coming up through their club system as well. So they've played together for many, many years and have that familiarity with each other, even if they aren't quite always at the same age level.
Which is why, you know, last year's team and this year's team have been just so good. But Christos changing the narrative today.
Is Valenti going up top. Ball played into the middle. Can't turn. Multiple defenders there as Natalie Wilson couldn't catch up to the ball. Smith battling up top. She's called offsides right at the midfield line. Floated one up top. Duffy off her line to collect. That one looking like it was going for Tuska Mahmoodpour.
I'll tell you what, the response here from McLean after that fourth win has actually been very strong. They've seemed a slightly ahead team here, at least certainly in the second half. The changes that they've made have certainly seemed to benefit them, really, but it's just those first few moments that has hurt them.
Davis flips the field.
Keep working, Abby, keep working. Show. That's what you got, Liz. Keep working, Liz. Continue it. Come on, quicker though.
On the near side, trying to find an angle to cross. Can't do it. Caroline Christos playing very well at that outside back position.
So well. I mean, she continued with her steps there, but yet stayed so strong in her footing to prevent it from going out for a corner.
And not only on the defensive end, she seems to be finding space, availability to be open for her teammates whenever they need an option.
She's just so smart. I mean, there's a reason why Coach Vanessa Mann loved her over there at UMBC, because she just does everything right. She really does. We've maybe only seen one mistake from her tonight, and that's still being a little harsh.
Tuska trying to track that ball down, but the assistant referee says she was offsides. Sub coming now for Christos.
It is very interesting, too, because McLean aren't playing like a team who are down by 3 right now. They seem like they're just very much in the game, which, again, I mean, these players just continue to roll with the punches no matter what goes their way. They're very resilient. I know this game won't be over until it's all said and done.
Well, Liz Becker's race is run. She makes way for Fifi Iluyamade, the American grad, takes the pitch here, coming up on 70 minutes played at the Moose. Overlap, that's Nucci. Cannot quite catch up to it.
She's quick, isn't she?
Absolutely.
Been absolutely impressed by her gameplay out there.
Ball played into the middle, referee has offsides. Assistant referee hidden over here in the near corner with his flag up. A little bit of disorganization here in the last 5-10 minutes in the Christos back line. Maybe since the subs came on too, just trying to figure it out.
It seems like it took them a few minutes just to kind of get into that rhythm, and it was the time that they were taking to get into the rhythm where they got hurt, where Christos were able to score those few goals. But you see that it just seems like they have a little bit more space out there, and that's the benefit with 4 new players out there. Whereas for Christos, they've still had some players on from the first half.
Well, that's a great 1-2 between Tuska and Sophie Maltese. Maltese looking for the angle to cross, but once again, Christos is there to deflect it out for a corner.
I mean, you see they're sprinting to every ball here in McLean. I mean, they feel like they're in it, which, you know, they kind of are. I mean, especially with how quickly they were able to get this next one, at least from Nucci's curler. Anybody's capable at any moment.
7 in the box for this corner for McLean. Down 4-1 in this USL-W League matchup. In swinging corner, played coast to the keeper. Dupfy off her line to punch. Second ball headed away by Evans. And that was Hanks, beg pardon. This is the ball bouncing around. This will be an opportunity. Fake the shot. Now goes for it. It's actually a pass. Could not get down and out for offsides.
A little bit better there by Christos. Didn't really allow a full shot coming. But McLean swarming a little bit here in a little bit of a waspish mode. And it's been, again, a good response since going down 4-0.
2 subs coming for McLean. Tuska and Brooke Burrell making way. And it'll be Hallie Johnson and Stephanie Christensen coming on in their place. Back underway. Tolson was looking for Danielle Campbell there. A little bit of miscommunication, perhaps. McLean starting to find some cracks in that Christos resolve. They float one forward. That's Nucci. Options in the middle. That's on the ground to Maltese. Quick shot. Saved by Duffy. Spills it. Natalie Wilson was there, but so was Zoe Vidare to clean it up. Corner kick McLean.
And remember, Maltese has been able to find the back of the net here to this season, so better watch out for her ability there. Another reason why she was one of the first options off the bench here in the second half.
We've had a flurry of McLean corners in recent minutes.
Yeah, they got 4 here in this half.
Trying to have Christos' advantage with one more goal. Ball played to the top of the box. A one-timer. Duffy kind of shielded. Looked like she had some trouble seeing that ball. Eventually falls on top of it without much pressure.
Hey, ref, don't let him talk you into that. Ref! No, we got it.
So I think there's an issue when it's come to the touching on it.
Indirect free kick coming from inside the box. You don't see this every day.
Obviously saying that it was Kutsos who kicked it back into the hand of Duffy. You can't keep it on the ground there. The only way you can pass it back, obviously, is with the head for the keeper to pick it up with her hands. So she had lost it enough for Kutsos to keep it in her realm, which is what they just called there.
So what this means is you cannot go for goal right off the kick. However, a slight touch from one player, and then the ball is in play, and you could theoretically shoot. So it'll be a two-person wall right at the near post. This is essentially a corner from 6 yards out.
This is I really haven't seen much of this ever in this sport, but it's definitely one of the more unique experiences. It's something that you can't really practice too much either, but like, what do you even do here? I think you just need to try and pinball one in there, hope somebody can deflect one in. And Turner's got enough strength of a left foot to get something here.
Well, typically when you have an indirect free kick in the professional ranks, you'll see the players just one player touch it onto another for a shot. This one's on the ground. It's bouncing around, pinballing. Christos is able to clear it away. DeSmit taking on 2. Gets around them, and she kept the ball in. No, she did not, just barely. That ball was on the line, and the assistant referee says it went out just enough to be deemed a throw.
Yep, that's the right call. We were right on it. But with defending one of those, again, you can't practice defending those either. I think the best thing you can do about it is just get as many bodies as possible around the ball, which is what they did. They were just hoping somebody could clear it out of there, which they did.
Absolutely. That ball pinballed around. Tough for us to tell, and certainly for you as well, to see who had it. But ultimately, a body in gray got the ball away. Danielle Campbell and Courtney Corcoran combining in the middle to win possession for Christos. They're looking long for DeSmit. Kutsos settles with time. Back for Tolson. Christos just retaining possession here. Inside to Liomade. Trying to play one up for, not DeSmit, but that was Abby Hanks. Regardless, it's back for Kutsos. That's DeSmit dropping to win the ball, trying to find a Liomade. She can't beat Davis to the ball. A lot more talk in this half from the Christos bench. It's relatively quiet in the first 45, but more animated here.
Because McLean have been taking some steps here into this game. It does seem like, I mean, the first 5 minutes of the second half, all Christos, but I think once that 4th goal went in, McLean's been the better side. And I think Christos sensed that, and they're just trying to finish this game correctly. Still got about 15 minutes to go.
Absolutely. Plenty of time for several goals from either side. Abby Hanks trying to get to that ball on the far side, could not quite beat Ava Nucci to it. What speed from the senior.
Just, I mean, so good when it comes to this. This is, I mean, it's a shame that 4-1 is the scoreline, because this has just been entertaining the entire evening. Could be much closer.
Absolutely.
Much closer.
Maybe even should.
For a neutral standpoint, I should say.
Well, we got one more sub coming at the next dead ball for McLean. Christos, a little dummy to make sure Ella Valenti doesn't take the ball. And we're going to get that sub now. Ami Davis is done for the evening. She makes way for Alex Bear onto the pitch. Campbell battling there with Valenti. And Valenti gets the throw for McLean. Tolson on the back of Maltese. Tolson does well, as does Christos. Back for Maltese. She can't settle. Campbell takes control. This is Hanks. Night has fallen at the Moose in Glen Burnie. Danny Tao and Christian Taylor, happy to be with you on DMV Sports Media, bringing you this USL-W League action. Christos leading McLean 4-1 with just about 14 minutes to play, roughly, give or take, with added time as well. It was all Christos for the first 50 minutes of this game, but since then, McLean have had all the momentum.
No, it's been really strong for them, but I think the main story of this game has just been how good Christos have been with finishing and getting their chances. Of course, DeSmit always involved. I mean, I think by far she has to be, for consideration, the best player in the nation right now.
Here's Christos. Considering her options, she'll drop it back. Takes a shove, and the referee saw it. Late whistle, no card coming out, but a little look and a talking to from Walt Torshon.
Yep, nothing too crazy. Everything that happened there was properly executed. Just kind of stepped on her foot there. Was a foul, but nothing too much more than that.
Taylor Evans standing over the ball for this one. Did score tonight. Haven't talked about her too much in the second half, but that's a player who is really making a difference on the pitch, whether it's noticeable or not.
She really is just making that change. You know, talking with Larry Sankum last night on the men's team, we talked about Evan Paez, how he's kind of changed this team this year. I think Taylor Evans might be that X factor this year for this women's team because, again, I didn't play too many games with Duke this season, but she's here at full strength, and she is that presence that this team needs in the midfield. And they had a lot of good attacking midfielder options last year, but when you can combine her, when you can combine a Corcoran and a Sarah Martin there at the center, you're doing a lot of good things. And they've all been mentioned plenty of times tonight, and they've all had a massive impact.
Evans hailing from Highlands Ranch, Colorado, now playing at Duke alongside Caroline Duffy. Made 7 appearances, though no starts for the Blue Devils. Former captain of a top 5 ranked in the nation club team, Real Colorado.
I mean, there's a reason why they were ranked so high. One of the reasons was because of her and just how slow she takes the game. Just kind of comes to her.
Well, here's an opportunity for McLean. Dangerous near the top of the box. They were looking for Hannah Harms. Well, it's another corner for McLean. Unable to get anything quite yet, but they've certainly had the opportunities, and you feel like if they keep coming, the dam will burst sooner rather than later.
Well, it did certainly once, but nothing here from these set pieces, which is kind of fascinating as well. This is where you miss a Julia Leeson there to get a strong header.
Corner taken short to Casadabin. And she floats one over the bar. No trouble for the Christos defense.
She'll be going to Georgetown this season. I've been also really impressed with the way she carries herself, too. Kind of, at least her mannerisms and everything, kind of reminds me of Eliza Turner out there. So I think that's going to be a really nice addition there to Coach Nolan's squad. And she's had a pretty decent evening, even though, Christos has been able to push a few past.
This is Christos in her own corner. Or not Christos, beg pardon, that was Tolson. Christos withstanding some pressure, and they're going to flip the field.
Excellent move there by Evans.
Allie Clearfield floating ahead for Hanks. Hanks holding up play. It's Clearfield and Corcoran, 1-2. Now back for Vidare, and all the way back to Duffy. Campbell turns, trying to find Hanks, and she'll get there. Now Corcoran and Clearfield. Clearfield trying to find a dropping to Smith, just not enough juice on that ball. Here's Eliza Turner. Floating one ahead. Vidare gets her head on it first.
Loud header. Brilliant by Vidare.
Here's Evans. Turns for Campbell. Also back, now floated ahead for Aliyamade. Trying to sneak one behind, just could not get over Alex Bear. Sub incoming for Christos at the next dead ball. This is Nucci. Running around Clearfield. Into the middle, just behind Maltese. Aliyamade dropping back to win. And she's there, Fifi Aliyamade. Another one of those Spalding alums on the pitch for Christos. One goal this season for Aliyamade. That came against Patuxent, one of the 17 Christos scored against them this season. That's Clearfield. Hanks pressuring up top. Hanks, well done to win the ball. Could not get the second. Abby Hanks, her motor has been at 110 all night long.
I mean, and the games we've seen from her this year, it's been a lot of the same. She just stays involved in every moment of the play. I mean, we saw it in that drubbing of Patuxent.
Campbell turns and finds Koutsos in space.
And Koutsos was part of that too, wasn't she?
Koutsos looking for a lane to cross. Defended by Bear. Doubled in the corner. She's just going to shield and take clock. Koutsos battling down there. Eventually a throw given to Christos, but precious seconds ticking away. That's harder than it looks.
No, it 100% is. And Koutsos has both the speed and the strength to be able to do something like that. I mean, you can hear the applause here by both the bench and the crowd. It confirms everything that we've thought and seen tonight, that Abby Hanks was one of the best players out there tonight.
Abby Hanks off, Kimmy Hurritt on in her place. McLean trying to clear, deflected back by Koutsos. Ball not going to go out of bounds, or yes it is. Says the judge on the far side. Goal kick McLean. Haven't seen too many McLean goal kicks.
No,
surprisingly for a team with 4 goals.
We really haven't talked much about Kara Martin either tonight because she hasn't needed to make the saves. Christos have just been very clinical when it's come to their scoring. And you're right, when they've just made it down there, it's either been brought back the other way by McLean or Christos are scoring.
Well, in the middle, that's Harms. Flipping the field to Eliza Turner. Guarded by Koutsos. In the middle. With space is Natalie Wilson, now picked up by Evans and back wide for Turner. Turner cutting in. Finds Wilson. Drop back. McLean looking for a lane through, but Christos looking impenetrable at the moment. Ball floated in. Bouncing around. Still around. Handball is the call. Christos free kick. That one, unfortunate deflection for McLean.
Yep, hands extended. It was just trying to protect her face there. But it's different than a handball in the other box, isn't it?
Absolutely.
I think can just about clinch this game for Christos now, with there about being 5 minutes remaining. And again, I still think McLean for a lot of the second half has been the slightly better team, but it took Christos maybe about 10 minutes after McLean scored that first goal and to kind of reignite their hold on this. And I think it was the changes that kind of did it for them. They needed the fresher legs.
Doing well to get around one. Takes a shove in the back. Referee waves his finger like Dikembe Mutombo, says no foul. Now through for Maltese. What can she do? Picked up by Tolson. Into the middle low. Touch won by Clearfield, but still McLean. Danielle Campbell pressuring well, and that leads to a Kutos interception. Kutos looking down line for DeSmit, and DeSmit will get there, but not before a quick touch by Holly Johnson to give a McLean throw, deflected off of DeSmit.
Yeah, not bad there by Johnson, tracking back for it. She called it too. She saw it.
Long ball played ahead. Ella Valenti applying some pressure, but not enough to disrupt Vidare and Duffy.
Great pass.
Maltese gets through Corcoran. Floats it past Tolson, bouncing for Valenti. Another nervy moment in the Christos back, but they bend without breaking.
Still trying to ask some of the questions, McLean. Still fighting.
Battling right there. Physicality. Referee's going to blow for a Christos free kick. Looks like Valenti was pushing just a too much. Handball is the official call.
Hey, 4 to go. Come on, dig here. Could she have been pushed into it? Could she have been pushed into it?
McLean bench offering some suggestions to the referee about what the call should be. He disagrees. So, you know, this is a 4-1 game, Christian, but even in taking 0 points away from this road trip, a lot of positives from McLean, especially from this last 40 minutes.
Small moments where they lapsed in the concentration and a couple moments where Bailey DeSmit hurts you. And every team has fallen victim to that this season. So there's nothing really too much you can do about it except try to find a way to contain her next time around. But I think the winners of this game was the Christos midfield with Corcoran, with Evans, with Martin, how they just started this game and controlled it. McLean's got a good midfield. I mean, we've seen Turner hopping all the way around tonight. Julia Lease was close to non-existent tonight. Same thing with Harwood on the left-hand side. I mean, it was very well dealt with by Christos, and I think that's ultimately what's won them the game.
And you're talking about, there's a free kick going against Zoe Vidare. It looks like there was a pull.
We're making up calls. All right, coach, that's your warning. No more of that, please. We're not making up anything. You get none of this if I get none of that.
And what's so impressive especially is you got players like Taylor Evans, who didn't make a start last year for Duke, going against a Julia Elise who started every game for a second-round NCAA tournament team, and Evans was the better player.
It's just so good tonight. And, you know, she gets a goal to her name, which is just going to boost that confidence
Absolutely,
even more.
very well deserved. Well, Eliza Turner is going to take this free kick from a potentially dangerous position. Turner going for goal. Not a terrible effort from that distance, but it was never on target.
Yeah, no, she can go from there. That's always a decent look for her. But, yep, just not quite on target. And, I mean, she's been working tonight. It's maybe not one of Eliza Turner's greatest games, but I think tonight's just been very, just really shows how determined she always is every step of the way.
Well, as we come up close to the final whistle, we're going to have 2 minutes of added time, says our fourth official. That one's trickling out for a McLean goal kick. McLean looking to get one more goal back on the board, perhaps to help with that goal difference. Could be important come a tiebreaker. But these teams will meet 2 more times this year. In fact, in a span of a week, they will meet. June 21st at McLean, and then they'll return to the Moose on June 28th.
Yeah, watch out. That's a lot of fun. I do like how these teams are playing each other more than twice each year.
And Christos had a little bit of a disadvantage with their scheduling as they play McLean on the 21st and the 28th, and both times they'll get 1 day of rest before taking on the number 8 team in the nation, Eagle FC.
They do have a chance. I mean, they got a good squad of people to choose from, so you got to believe it's going to be a lot of picking and choosing on what's going to be the better matchup for each individual game.
A lot of depth for the home team. McLean trying to get one back here. Floated towards the back post. Almost an opportunity for Turner, but that ball just not quite at her feet.
It's been a little bit indicative of tonight for McLean because they've gotten opportunities in the final third. Just nobody's there to connect on it.
Christos was somehow able to keep that ball in all the way down the sideline. Eventually wins a throw that's going to take a little more clock away before Christos can claim the 3 points this evening. DeSmit gets around one, can't get around two. Hallie Johnson got there first. All over but for the final whistle here, as we wait for Walt Torshon to end this USL-W League contest that was closer than its scoreline, but will go down as, for now, a 4-1 victory for Christos. McLean trying to have that right here. Tripping on the ball over there was Kimmy Harrett. McLean still pressing on. A double, down goes the attacker, no call. Harrett battling over there. She came on late, making the most of her minutes. The clear from Clearfield. Ooh, a one-time attempt there from Eliza Turner. Swing and a miss. A little bit of a whiff. And that will do it. Final score, Christos 4, McLean 1. Goals 2 from Bailey DeSmit, extending her nation-leading total to 14. One more each from Zoe Vidare and Taylor Evans, as Ava Nucci added one in defeat for the visitors. Christian, final thoughts?
Big couple of nights here for Christos men and women. Teams who had their number last year, Christos responding here this weekend with the win over Lions Bridge on the men's team, and then McLean here on the women's end. And again, I think this game may be slightly more even than what the scoreline suggested, but very much deserved win for Christos, and just how effective they were in front of goal, and a talented Kara Martin, and how good they were in the midfield. McLean showed their speed and their ability to possess the ball, certainly there in that second half, but just weren't enough, and they weren't capitalizing off of their final third looks.
Well, that will do it for Danny Tao and Christian Taylor here at the Moose. Come back next time. June 17th is our next broadcast, and that's a doubleheader. Both the men's and women's teams taking on Nova FC in that one. But